Hi, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Playbook with Paul LaPolice, your home for elite CFL breakdown analysis. Today, something a little different. Instead of taking a team and talking about what they did well or this or that, we'll do that maybe later in the week. But today, I thought the plays of last week was the takeaways defensively. So there's only 3 games played. There was 12 takeaways in those 3 games. So an average of 4 takeaways per game. I'm not saying one team did it, but both defenses did a really good job with a bunch of takeaways, some really nice interceptions, some really nice effort plays, some caused fumbles. So I wanted to go through and show all 12 of them, break down what happened, what the defense did great, and maybe where the offense could have improved in. But really spectacular defensive performance in the world of takeaways last week. So that's what we're going to look at. Now, before I go, 2 points I want to make. Watch time from subscribers, and I'll put this above my head so you can see. It says watch time from subscribers in the last month, 70% not subscribed. So if you like this stuff, please make sure you subscribed. And then there's another one that says turn notifications on. So I'm learning all these analytics. It's normally analytics in football. This is like YouTube analytics. Subscriber bell notifications. Subscribers who turned on your notifications for your channel, 10%. Only 135 of our 1,300 followers, or 1,000. I think we're 1,300 followers now. So please turn notifications on. Notifications let you know when we're posting new stuff if you like it, and more subscribers help us run the channel. Okay, time to open the playbook on Week 18, takeaways by the defense. First takeaway of the week. I like the execution by the Bombers. This could have been a touchdown. The play call was good by Hamilton. They just didn't get enough on it. This is the pattern concept. You have a double move, a guy running a dig and then going deep. You have an underneath route and a dig behind it. Let's show you why they're doing that. So right here, when they play their matchup zone play, whatever, their matchup man, if you want to call it, he'll end up taking this player, and he's out here usually on him. But these 2 players are trying to figure out what this route is. So if that player goes in on a dig, he would then drive the dig. If that player right here ran a corner route, he would take the corner route, and he would play inside in case a post happened. So you have 2 people to cover whatever route shows up. Now, this starts as a dig. So that player, I believe that's Holm, he breaks on the dig. So that's exactly what Hamilton wanted him to break on the dig, and then they go over the top to the middle of the field. And so they get it. They get behind the defense. Bo recognized he just doesn't get a little bit on it. But this is also good by Winnipeg. So the rule for him is as soon as he goes there, he knows his teammate's going to drive this dig. So his job is technically supposed to get over the top in case of a double move happens. And there it is. He recognizes it. Diedrich Nichols gets underneath it. So, this is probably a touchdown with a little bit more air. But great play by Diedrich Nichols getting underneath it and protecting his teammate. We can show it from this angle. So you can see it right here. He's going to drive this play as fast as he can because this is wide open. There's nobody here because he ran out there. So Diedrich Nichols, he's playing the corner route. But once he knows it becomes a dig, he knows the only thing that can really hurt them is a double move. They run the double move, he gets underneath it. So good execution by the Bombers on the double move. Second takeaway is Terrell Ford. Here is the pattern concept. You have a go, a dig, a guy out in the flat, and a guy controlling the inside with a crossing route. So you're trying to just go down the ladder. Take a look at the go to the dig, down into the flat. Now, Bo gets this ball out of his hand quickly. He's got some pressure in his face. And I don't love this contact right here. They didn't rule it in that there was pass interference. Don't love that contact. But if you go, this is what happens sometimes. When free player, Bo doesn't have time to see it, throws it up to a spot. But really the hard part of this is, let me show you this here. When the ball snapped, Terrell Ford, and this is most corners, is the receiver's out here on the numbers. He's already, and the numbers are 2 yards. So he's 2 yards inside this dig route to begin with. And that's hard because you're trying to get into this space, and defensive backs to the field, because the field's so wide, tend to play inside leverage, so he can already beat you to that spot. And that's what happens on this play. Tyrell Ford gets his hands up, makes a nice play. I don't love the contact with the hand in the back, but interception. Effort sack here, Taiwan, Garbett. So I think this is what's happening. A move inside, and Willie Jefferson's coming around the horn. And what happens is Powell feels this pressure right here showing up, and he starts to scramble. Willie Jefferson's here on this, so he finds a crease and goes. But Garbett's done a really nice job of chasing when he sees the quarterback go to scramble. Powell doesn't have control of the football, doesn't know Garbett's coming. Bang, ball out. Nice recovery. Good running the football defense and stripping the football. You got a wide receiver screen. So you're going to have a blocker here. You're going to have a blocker here. And he's going to step in and try to get this screen and go upfield. You can see it's starting to develop. He's going to block him. He's going to block the first threat. And you step down and give him the ball to find space. You got linemen coming out. So you're trying to create a tunnel for him to run through. How does this get stopped? Because of the running of Roland Kent. Watch this. He beats the block and goes in and stops it. All right, so as he comes up and makes his contact, I want to go to this side. He makes contact first, but watch him, right hand. He is now trying to strip the ball. So I thought it was Jalen Edwards-Cooper hit that got the ball out. No, Kent gets the ball out. Cooper knocks it up in the air. And Ace Ali is right there for the recovery. So really good gang, team defense. Everybody running to the football. One guy making a play on the football. One guy knocking up in the air. And one guy recovering it and running it back. Defensively, sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time. I don't think there's much Jake Mayer can see about this. We'll explain what they're doing. This is a on the line of scrimmage screen. So sometimes on long yardage situations, or you say, especially second and long teams will do this when everybody drops into coverage. So you're going to run a receiver to block him. You're going to block here. You're going to block here. And then you're going to release linemen. You can see a lineman going downfield to get the middle linebacker. Because if this ball is thrown at the line of scrimmage, it's legal to block downfield. You can't block downfield on a pass play, but if it's behind the line of scrimmage or on the line of scrimmage, it's okay. So teams run this in the league a lot, and then that player just takes it because everybody's being blocked. Unfortunately, we'll go to the end zone in a second. Now, maybe this receiver should be a little bit farther. I don't know what their rules are, but here's what happens. There's what's called the stunt game going. He goes here. He goes here. Matthew Betts is coming around the horn. So as he starts to come over, as he's starting to move to this gap, he ends up right in the vision of the football, right where the ball's about to be caught. Now, whether the receiver has to be a little bit more here or not, I'm not sure. Not sure what their rules are. But, sometimes Jake's not going to see that. So that's a right place, right time for Matthew Betts, and he's got the speed you want to, have for a defensive end. So he's going to go run this in for a touchdown. So good, right place at right time, good execution, good catch by the BC Lions defense. BC Lions, really good execution here, recognizing what's coming. So I've got drawn up here, there's a bubble screen. So all those four receivers are blocking. And they're blocking because what I got highlighted on this backside here, that this player is on the backside. Well, that means you've got numbers. You have four blockers with only technically two players here. There's a third if TJ wasn't blitzing. So you have numbers. And then when you add the tailback on the swing, you have even more numbers. So that's what Calgary's trying to do. But watch TJ. he recognizes and see the ball starting to be thrown, so he tries to recover. And this is great athleticism to make the play. They rule it that it's a lateral. Now it's a scoop and score situation, so he just runs it in and makes the play. This is, it happens so fast, it's going to be hard for them to say, hey, this wasn't a lateral. I'm not sure, get more understanding about this. I'll talk to the league a little bit. But, it's hard to say that it isn't. Good knockdown. They're going to hold the whistle for some of these plays, obviously, and they're not going to overturn it unless it's clear and obvious. So it's not clear and obvious. One more angle of this. So when he blitzes normally, you want to get a throw on the outside. He reacts to it, makes the play. So just, pretty spectacular plays in this game by the BC Lions defensively to help them get the win against Calgary. The bounces certainly went the BC Lions' way. This last interception, Adrian Green gets this one off the tip drill. So you into the boundary. Jake's looking over here. There's a post that goes into the middle of the field, and you have usually a 5-yard in route. And it's 3rd and 8 here, 3rd and 7. So if you watch Varga, as he just keeps getting depth and depth, he's almost 16 yards. There's somebody over the top, there's somebody inside. Now, there is a big space here, and I'll show you from the end zone to throw it. And this is a beautiful throw, but sometimes it's just easier to take this shot, and he's going to get big yardage because everybody's gotten so much depth late in the game. But I know they're trying to push and trying to make some plays. So, good throw here. But once you see him inside your post move, him over the top, might be easier just to throw this and get that yardage. That's what I'd be talking to the quarterbacks about. But, hey, great throw. You got to make this catch. They just didn't make their plays like they needed to. So, good execution by the BC Lions. Good way to make a play. Next interception. Trevor Harris starts with his eyes in this direction. So he's looking to his right, and then he flips his hips and goes to the routes over here. So we have a post, and we have another post behind it. So I think as Trevor flips his hips right here, you see Emulus is starting to run into this space, but he stops right there because this is excellent by Cordell Jackson. This is what I want to point out. So I think Cordell Jackson either recognizes, now he's the third player, let's call it the third, let's say that's cover 3. He's a hook to curl player. But I think by film study, he recognizes and he feels that Sam's going to go into that space. So watch what he does. He just runs in and cuts it off. But Trevor still thinks it's going to be thrown there. This is really good play by the field halfback here. This is really good by Jackson. That's a great interception. Now, Sam should keep going and go to this space. And, Trevor can't see this, that Cordell Jackson breaking inside when he throws it. Spectacular play by Jackson. Edmonton with their interceptions. This one versus 2 deep man under. Let's explain what that means. 2-man. 2 means there's 2 deep players. Man means everybody else is playing man coverage. Why are they physical at the line of scrimmage? And everyone, if you notice what's called press at the line of scrimmage, they're in press at the line of scrimmage because they want to jam them and eliminate quick throws. Well, what's the problem with that? You can run right by people. You could run right by him, run right by him, run right by him, and go. Well, you still have help by the 2 safeties. So that's why teams get physical when they play 2 deep man under. So for Trevor, what hurts him is he looks over here to the right, and then he flips his hips. They're running a corner route and then to the middle of the field, but he can't throw it on time. He has to move, he has to climb the pocket, and he's looking over to his left. So what happens is he reads this half-field safety. The safety does jump with that corner route move. So now they're going to run a post to the middle of the field. But what he cannot see is the safety off the hash. So Purifoy does an excellent job. He starts looking this way. He doesn't really see a threat to him because it's a short route. So then he just watches Trevor's eyes the whole time, and he makes a play over the top on this. For this to work, you got to throw it way up here because you cannot see what the backside safety's doing. And that's the problem with this. He looks real quick, climbs. So now Luke Purifoy is already looking, starting to make the play. If you throw it high, you got a chance, but it's got to be thrown somewhere up here instead of the angle of departure to this way. If it's thrown more vertically, you got a chance. But Lucius, really good range, good long run by the defensive back for the interception. Sometimes you're in the right place at the right time. You have a post, and you have a 5-yard in. So all you do is watch what Eau Claire does. He stays inside the post, and that gives you the throw in the inside. It's a good decision by McLeod. Good by Eugene. It just kind of bumps out of his hand, and as contact made, the ball goes up in the air, very similar to the BC Lions game. The ball getting knocked out, and Adam Eau Claire's right there to make the play. So good instinctual play by Adam for the interception. Roland Milligan here gets another interception off of this concept right here. This is what I would call a vertical stretch. And I'll explain what that means. Let me pause it again. A vertical stretch means you're putting somebody here, here, here. You have a deep route, intermediate, and a short route. And you're trying to stretch that zone aspect of the field. Now, I wish McLeod took a little bit more time to recognize this. Usually my guys take 2 more steps to take that. This is a 7-step drop, but he throws this quickly. And it doesn't give Milligan enough time to be threatened by this receiver. So, you got to throw this when Milligan's flat-footed. So Milligan's already waiting. He knows teams throw this. So he just says, you're not throwing this, and I'm going to undercut. And that's what happens. So, a combination of maybe a little bit deeper drop, a little bit more vision. You can take this shot is what I would be always talking about, because it's just so hard when these guys just sit on these routes. You got to force them to throw the deep ball. Earlier in the game, Bo Levi Mitchell on the double move took the deep shot. So in vertical stretches, make sure you see what that player is. If he's flat-footed, throw over his head. But this is great by Roland Milligan. Spectacular play. You can see it from this angle. Okay, him sitting here, I'm not sure when the ball's thrown. He's about to throw it right here. So you just got to hopefully get him a little bit higher so you can get a better read on him. And it's just a difficult throw because he doesn't back up at all. So nice play by Roland Milligan. The last takeaway of the game, you're going to get a hitch here, you're going to get a hitch here, you're going to get a hitch here. Where are you going to throw? You're always going to throw to this dead spot in the zone coverage. But Amari Henderson knows that's where the ball is going to go. Watch him chase this down. So he leaves once he sees the ball thrown, he goes to chase. As the ball's being run, bang, he goes up. This is exactly what you want your DB to do. Get your left hand on the receiver, getting ready to tackle, but with your right hand, punch once, punch hard, knock the ball out. And that's what happens. See it from this angle. So there's Henderson coming in to make the play. So he gets his left hand engaged. His right hand goes to do a punch, knocks the ball out. So a spectacular play by Henderson here. So an outstanding week for defensive takeaways in the CFL.